Hi, and welcome. I'm Dr. Kathy. And whether I was doing surgery in Guatemala, caring for infants, or teaching neonatal exams in Tanzania, caring for burn victims in Niger, teaching healthcare science in Korea, or traveling to Shanghai to learn Chinese medicine, I noticed the same thing worldwide. Patients needed better, healthier food choices. So, how was I going to take all of my skills and talents as a doctor and former chef, turn them into one career? That's when I had an idea. I was going to swap one white coat for another. Welcome to The Doctor Is In, Cooking with Kathy. Hi, and welcome to The Doctor Is In, Cooking with Kathy. I'm Dr. Kathy, the chef. Today we're going to be making a beef brisket. It's going to be cooked low and slow in our oven, and this is a great recipe for wintertime, especially if you live in the north where your barbecue grills aren't useful a good portion of the year. You can cook these in the oven and it will taste delicious. If you're having a hard time finding a whole brisket, you shouldn't. A really good time to get them is March, right around St. Patrick's Day. There's lots of briskets. I got this one at my local bulk store, so it was relatively inexpensive, and you can get them at most of your markets. I get a large one because I can use this for a lot of different meals, and I'm going to show you a few of these after we get this cooked. So we're going to start with the seasonings that we're going to put on it, and I have a number of seasonings here. You can use whatever you want. These are the ones that I like. I have a little bit of ground celery. I have here a little bit of ground sage. Then I have some smoked smoked paprika. I have here some garlic powder. I don't use salt in this. I use the powder. I want to add my own salt later, control that a little bit later. I've got here is a little bit of dried horseradish and then some turmeric. Turmeric's going to give it a beautiful color. The horseradish is going to give it a little bit of a bite. Here I have some cumin. Here I have a little bit of a dried parsley. Here I have a little bit of chili powder. And here I have a little bit of onion powder. And then we'll mix this all up and put it on our beef brisket, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here I have my dry rub, and we're calling this a dry rub because I haven't put any sort of oil or anything on my beef. If you notice right here, this is the fat side of the brisket, and I'm going to start with this. So I'm going to take a nice handful of my rub and just put it on here and do exactly what it says and rub it in. It's called a rub because that's what you do. You rub that in, or you pat it in, however you want. And I'm going to use about half of it here, and then the other half is going to go on the other side. Okay. Very nice. We want to get it on the edges as well. And then I'm going to take this over, turn it, here we go, and then rub it on the other side. Do the exact same thing. Okay, and once you have this all rubbed in nicely, you want to get this all over every place. It's a beautiful rub that we've got here. Okay. Once we get this all rubbed in, we're going to put this on some aluminum foil and wrap this up. So I've got a couple pieces of aluminum foil here. I'm going to put this right on here first of all and get all of this goodness, rub that all in. I'm going to give this a little cleanup, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you what to do, okay? Okay, I've moved my roast, cleaned everything up, and I've moved the brisket. And now I'm going to add a little bit of cracked black pepper onto the meat and a little bit of cracked salt. And what this is going to do is it's really just going to bring a little bit of that beef flavor out. And again, you're controlling the amount of salt that is going into your food, so this is really good. Okay, so now I have my salt on here and some pepper, And I'm just going to take my foil and wrap this up. I've got extra foil because I want this whole thing covered, and it's going to go into the oven, cooked really beautifully for a long time. Now I want to cook this with the fat side up so that all those juices from the fat drip down and season all of the meat. And so I've got to remember that right now the fat side is down. So when I put it onto my pan, I'm going to flip it over. And finish this up with a little bit of extra tucking of all of that. Okay, now this is going to sit in my refrigerator for about 4 hours so that it can sit in this dry rub and that all those flavors really sort of meld together. Okay, this has now been in the refrigerator for about 4 hours and it's ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put it in a very low oven, about 250 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 12 hours. I might even let it go a little bit longer because it is a pretty large piece of meat, but 12 hours is great. So if you want to do this overnight, I think that this is a great way to do this, is like put it in overnight. For example, if I was going to have this served for a Sunday dinner, I might put it in about midnight on Saturday night, let that sit and cook all night long, and at about noon on Sunday, it's ready to check for tenderness and definitely ready to eat by like 1 or 2 o'clock. So great for a Sunday afternoon. Come on back with the magic of video editing, and I'll show you what this looks like when it's done. Hi, welcome back. So this has been in the oven about 12 hours, really low at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's steaming and delicious. Oh, look at how brown and juicy this looks. I'm gonna give this a nice slice. Oh, it is so tender. Oh man, I wish you could smell how delicious my kitchen is right now. Let's see, you get a couple of pieces cut here. Show you how nice this looks. Beautiful. Absolutely glorious. Oh, the aromas coming through are fantastic from that rub that we put on it. This is going to make a great sandwich. It is going to make great slices for dinner. And when you come on back after video editing, I'll show you a couple of different processes that we can do with our slow roasted beef brisket. Come on back. Hi, and welcome back. So I've taken some of that brisket that we made and I have plated it up as one of the meals that you can make with the brisket. And if you can see it here, it's just beautifully glistening with all those juices. And I've got some Brussels sprouts that I made that I steamed lightly and then quickly sauteed in a little bit of the juices and some of the fat from the brisket, which just adds extra flavor. And then some really nice, just clean jasmine rice. This is a beautiful dinner plate here. It should make anyone happy, even if you don't particularly like Brussels sprouts. Adding a little bit of that beef fat really does enhance the flavor and makes it beautifully nice. So this would be something great to serve, maybe on a Sunday late afternoon for a dinner for family. Come on back after these video edits and I'll show you another process that you can do with the beef brisket that we just made. Hi, and welcome back. So this is going to be the last preparation in this episode that I'm going to do with that beautiful beef brisket, and I'm going to put it on a sandwich. My husband's going to take it with him for work. So I just took some of the beef and I shredded it up a little bit. It's still nice and juicy. I gave this a little bit of a heat just to start with, even though it's going to get served cold. And I have here a lovely French baguette. I'm just going to cut him a nice sandwich size with my serrated knife, great for cutting bread. And then I'm just going to cut down through the bread, give myself a nice bit to work with. Here we go. Okay, just open that up. And I've got two things I'm going to put on the baguette. The first thing is a little bit of a really nice mustard. I'm going to put this on one side of the bread. Really nice. Just a nice little mustard here. And on the other side, I've got a mixture of some sour cream and a little bit of ground horseradish. And this is going to be like a really nice horseradish paste for the sandwich. You can use mayonnaise if you want. I think that the homemade sour cream is a lot healthier, and especially since I made the sour cream myself, and on another episode you'll see that. Okay, here we go. Get that all nicely covered. And then just fill this with a lovely beef mixture that we've got here. And don't be stingy. Make sure you load this up really nicely. And I'm doing this the night before, and I'm going to wrap this up, and it is going to all sort of soak in together, and all those juices will be really nicely melded, and that bread will be just soft enough to eat, not too soggy, but just soft enough. And this will be a lovely sandwich for him. You can see how beautiful this is. It's a nice little lunch. So that's one of the other processes that you can use with the beef brisket that we made. There's lots and lots of other things that you can do with it. I just showed you two of them. In a future episode, I'm going to be doing a taco bar, and I'll bet you're going to see beef brisket show up again there. So I wanted to thank you very much for watching The Doctor is In, Cooking with Kathy. I am Dr. Kathy the Chef, and you have been watching slow roasted beef brisket, and done a couple of different ways. I hope you give this a try. As always, any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. If you have a recipe you'd like me to try and healthify, put it in the comments. The next episode you see could be based on something that you have suggested to me. Feedback is greatly appreciated, and if you haven't had the chance, subscribe now. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Dr. Kathy, the Chef.